think Cardano is going to head to $25. Yes, that's right, a 25x from where it is now by the end of the year. And in this video, I'm going to explain why I think it's going to go so high. And I think many of you guys that hold ADA and believe in Cardano, you'll be very, very, very pleased. Cardano is going to make a new generation of millionaires as it climbs up, just like all these other projects that is coming up in a big way. All right, so thanks for tuning in, guys. As always, smash up the like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. 2 streams every day, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. So make sure you don't miss out. Hit that notification bell. Follow me on Twitter and follow me on Facebook so you get notified no matter where you are, and you have no excuse not to show up. All right, let's get started. Let me turn the screen here. Let me see if I can do this. All right, here we go. So refresh. Look at BTC dominance. First of all, BTC dominance fell down below 61%. Kind of shows you how strong things are. Bitcoin is falling down a little bit, right below $45,000. And just so you guys know, I checked. It's not F2 pool right now, right? It could be because they're still trying to dump and sell this huge sell, a 2,700 Bitcoin sell. And interesting enough, I had a miner, one of the miners that is on F2 pool, that emailed me and said, hey, George, I don't think this is dumping. I think it's just the miners that's trying to take a profit. And he mistaked. He was thinking this 2,700 was for the entire day. No, that's in a single hour. That's how much outflowed. Now, after that, things have been pretty stable. But there's still something fishy going on. So that's why Bitcoin is showing a bit weakness, but overall still holding at 45,000. Not a big deal. But you know what is a big deal? A lot of altcoins, including Cardano, that has pumped up over 100%. 100% within a week. Up 18%, 19% today. It did fall down a little bit, right? And it's nearing its previous high. Yeah, Cardano was this high back in 2018, for people that didn't know. It went from like nothing to the moon, and then went back down to nothing, and now it's coming back to the moon, right? But I don't think it's going to stop at the moon. It's going to keep going and go to Mars and beyond. All right, so besides you know, altcoins overall being very strong, Cardano is definitely showing more strength than others. So that's why a lot of people, new people that's tuning in, they have no idea what Cardano is. They have no idea why it's going up, why it was created, and all that stuff. So I'm going to give a brief history lesson for people that are new. And then I'm going to explain what's been happening recently, why it's been shooting up over this past week, and why I think it's going to go to $25, right? So get your drinks ready, buckle up, and let's get started. All right, first of all, you can't talk about Cardano without talking about Ethereum, okay? Ethereum, the big daddy at 200 billion. When it came out in 2016, it was created by four founders: Charles Hoskinson, Vitalik Buterin, Joseph Lublin, and Gavin Wood. And there may be one other. I think there is one other. The guy who started Zappo, I forgot his name. So yeah, it's probably 5 members. Okay. And Ethereum was the very first that introduced smart contracts. So it changed the landscape. Before Ethereum, everything else was basically a clone of Bitcoin. It didn't matter what things were, you know, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Feathercoin, all these coins, they were all basically copies of Bitcoin. With the exception of Ripple and Stellar, they were a little bit different, but overall everything else was a clone. And they really had no purpose other than being a currency. Well, Ethereum came out and changed all that, right? The problem is Ethereum had a pretty successful ICO, and then they started a DAO. And that DAO, Decentralized Autonomous Organization, got hacked. Yes, it got hacked. There was a ton of Ethereum that was locked in, and it was mainly, the purpose was to basically fund new projects that was going to come on top of Ethereum. It was a really good idea. I believe Ethereum was the ones that actually created this concept of a DAO. The problem is it got hacked, and people didn't know what to do. Well, this is crypto. Things are supposed to be decentralized, right? So here's the problem. You have a ton of people that donated basically their ETH, and now they want it back. They don't want to hear that it was just hacked. So the team had a very difficult choice to make, whether or not to lock out the attacker and refund the funds, basically the ETH, or they were just going to leave it alone. Well, you know what? That's how Ethereum Classic and Ethereum came to be. Because there was one side that thought that they should have left things alone, right? And Charles Hoskinson believed that was the way because this is a decentralized blockchain and DAO and everything. But unfortunately, Ethereum didn't do that. So they locked out the DAO attacker. They basically recovered the funds, and that's why now you have Ethereum and Ethereum Classic. Well, Charles Hoskinson left Ethereum shortly afterwards because he thought it was the wrong move. He did not like that move one bit. So what did he do? Well, he started IOHK, which is a development firm out of Japan, I believe. So the whole purpose of this firm is to develop new blockchain technologies and support it and focus. And one of the projects he started working on is Cardano. And that is why he's so integral to the project. Basically, he is the founder, but he's not the sole person that is responsible. Cardano was created to be the most decentralized, blockchain ever, and I'm going to explain why it's even more decentralized than most other projects. But anyways, so that's how Cardano came to be. Because of Ethereum, because of this DAO hack, right? And he disagreed, and that's why he still likes Ethereum Classic. There are times when Ethereum Classic, remember all those 51% attacks? He offered to help. He wants to help them because ultimately that's his first baby, Ethereum Classic, not actually Ethereum at this point. But they seem to have separated ways recently. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people always ask me, why is Cardano not listed on Coinbase? You figure a project this big, this popular, should be on Coinbase. And here's the reason why it's not. Because they did have an ICO about $62 million, but this was conducted only in Japan. So people don't know what to think of that. I think Coinbase, specifically their lawyers, don't know how to think about that. If they do list them, is there going to be problems? Is the SEC or whoever's going to go after them because they're security? We don't know, right? That's the reason why Cardano is not listed on Coinbase yet. That's why Coinbase keeps listing all these new projects, but they keep missing out on Cardano. So that's the reason why I think they have not been listed. And early on, because they had this ICO in Japan, and I believe IOHK was located in Japan at one point in time, or maybe they still are. I'm not sure. I know Charles is not in Japan right now. They were labeled as the Cardano, the Japanese Ethereum. That's what they were labeled as early on. This is back in 2018, and now no one calls them that. No one calls them that at all. They don't call them the Japanese Ethereum, but early on, that's what they were known for. Okay, so I mentioned about decentralization. Why are they more decentralized than every other project? Well, Charles has this idea that decentralization has to start from the top bottom, not only from where like the direction of the project, but also who's actually controlling it. You know how there's certain projects like Charlie, I dumped my bags on you, Lee. He's like the go-to guy for Litecoin, right? Whatever he says goes. And it was pretty much the same thing with EOS and Block One with Dan Larimer and Brock Pierce. And there's several other projects. Neo is basically controlled by, I forgot his, Dong Fei. Yeah, so there's a lot of projects, even though they're somewhat decentralized, there's a main figure that basically dictates what's going on. And Charles didn't want to do that for Cardano. So he split up into three governing bodies. So there's the Cardano Foundation, there's IOHK, which is him, and then there's another one, Embargo. So even from a foundational standpoint, support perspective, it's split into three. But ultimately, this is going to be released to the people. That's going to be the final stage. But he really planned it out. And Cardano is really a scientific project. They didn't just write a white paper and just said, okay, we're going to go and do this. So they had a lot of really, really smart people that really enjoy looking at white papers and coming up with stuff to review it, scientifically reviewed, and then they decide to implement going forward. So these are some of the differences, right, for Cardano versus everything else. Now, oh, I forgot. Yeah. So one of the things he keeps talking about is decentralization, like I said, right? But I'm going to get to that a little bit. Now, fast forward to today. Why is it going up, right? Well, Cardano is not done yet. So, contrary to popular belief that it is done, it's operational, it has dApps, no, it doesn't have any of that. So if you're new to the space, you think Cardano is going up to the moon, it must have some traction. No, it doesn't have any of that right now. It's an incomplete project, although there is a mainnet that's up and there is a testnet that's up, but it's not fully complete. So this has been a work in progress for the last 3 years and going on to year 4. So they had to build a lot of things. Shelly was the last stage that they completed, which is a big thing, basically moving Cardano to a true proof of stake. Now, what they're working on is Goguen, and that is introducing smart contracts and also native tokenization, where you can come up with native tokens that reside on the blockchain. That is coming up in the very near future, right? So that was implemented on testnet already, and the goal is to implement Goguen by the end of this month. Sometime, I heard like 22nd, 23rd, something like that. So that is coming up in very short order in a couple weeks. Afterwards, they're going to work on scaling, which introduces the concept of side chains. And many other projects have done that now, that you could have multiple side chains that communicates with the main chain, and each side chain could scale up to like 1,000 transactions per second, if not more. So you think about it, you could have 1 million side chains for anything and basically have as much throughput as you want, right? So another upgrade over, say, something Ethereum is that it should be able to scale massively, not just like 15 transactions per second like Ethereum right now. We're talking about thousands, tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of transactions per second. So that's coming after Goguen is implemented, and after that, it's going to be governance, where basically Charles, IOHK, Embargo, Cardano Foundation, they're going to try to make it and turn it to the people. The treasury, the decision making is all being given to the stakeholders, and they decide what they want to do with the project, where it's going to go, and stuff like that. They're trying to, Charles, like I said, one of the main things is he wants to make Cardano into the most decentralized project ever created, basically. The end result, I don't know. If you have that much decentralization, whether or not that's good, we will have to see. But this is what's coming up, right? Now, this is not the main driver of why the price has been going up, skyrocketing for the last week. Of course, a lot of people are very excited. A lot of people believe in Charles. Charles is one of those guys that, despite the fact he has not finished his project yet, still has the most respect in terms of a leader that I have seen in the space, right? You think about like Charlie Lee, and you think about like Justin, I forgot his last name. Justin, how can I forget his last name? I forgot his last name from Tron. You guys know what I'm talking about. And all these other leaders, they basically, there's a lot of people that bash him for like some faults or unfinished projects or shenanigans or something, right? Justin's son, yes, thank you. I mean, you think about it, there's a lot of leaders that gets called out, but Charles doesn't for some reason, because he gives continuous updates. He seems to to be telling the truth. He's not hyping anything. He's just plainly giving you the facts, and people really respect him for it. So that has carried Cardano really, really, really far. So you have a large user base, a large following. They believe this project is going to come to a conclusion before Ethereum 2.0 comes out, and that it has a chance to overthrow Ethereum in the future and basically kick Vitalik out the door, right? But besides just enthusiasm, there's a couple things here that's helping it also. Number one, you have a lot of derivatives. Actually, this is the main reason. You have not besides that. Number one, Grayscale. Grayscale is filing for new trust, and Cardano is one of those projects that will be getting a trust. Now, whether or not this really pumps them up, I don't know, because Grayscale has a lot of trust for a lot of other projects that really have not exploded, right? But obviously, Bitcoin trust, Ethereum trust has been going up to the moon. A lot of Cardano fans think the Cardano trust will see a big influx of money coming in. So that is number one. That should be coming right around the corner, right? Number two is what I meant to say is derivatives. You have a lot of exchanges now that's coming out with derivatives based on Cardano, perpetual swaps, futures, leverage, right? And as something gets bullish, guess what happens? People utilize leverage and cause more FOMO and cause it to go up, right? So look at this. Bitfinex just introduced one. This was only 7 days ago. Now users will be able to do 100x Cardano perpetual swaps, right? So think about it. If you thought the amount of money required to pump up Cardano was insane, yeah, that's true, because you have leverage now. People that are very, 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 very greedy, they could utilize 100x leverage and push Cardano up. Not only that, not Bitfinex, I just found 2 examples, but even Binance. Binance kicked off something too, right? So, well, this one's a little bit different. Binance already has it, but here's staking. This also helps Cardano. So I meant to, there was another article I accidentally closed. But Bitfinex is not the only one with derivatives. A lot of other exchanges do. But also, this is a good thing where you do have native staking on an exchange. So it gives people another reason to actually keep their Cardano, right? So this is the reason why Cardano has been going up to the moon. There's a lot of people that believe in a project. Goguen is about to be complete, right? And you have Grayscale, FOMO, and you have derivatives kicking in, and you have some of the biggest changes that is offering staking. So those are a lot of reasons, 5 reasons why Cardano keeps going up and up and up. Now, here's the thing. Why do I think it's going to go to $25 when in fact it's only at, it's not even at $1, but I'm just rounding up to $1, okay? So here's how I'm doing my Asian math here. So look at Cardano's chart. Back in the day, in 2018, they were actually a little bit higher than where they were right now. So if you zoom in and you look at it, at one point in time, they were at $32 billion. And it could have been higher, and then this didn't capture it. So they were actually higher than they were. They were actually higher before than they are now, okay? So that's actually pretty amazing. So had you bought at that peak point, you would still be down today. So that's an amazing thing. But you can see, obviously, within the last month or so, it has been just skyrocketing to the moon, right? Okay, so here's the thing. You look at Cardano, and it's sitting at, I'm just going to round up to 30 billion. I know it's not there, but I'm just going to round up, easy math, right? And if you look at it compared to, say, Ethereum, it's way less. It used to be 10x. Now it's more like 8x or so. But here's the thing. So I looked at the previous year, how much growth there has been for Cardano. 1 year span, Bitcoin went up 345%. Ethereum went up 664%, double of Bitcoin. But guess what? Cardano went up 1,400%. So for those of you guys that has been dollar cost averaging and buying the dips, you have been rewarded handsomely with 1,400% returns. That is pretty good, pretty darn good, right? So here's my thinking, right? So roughly rounding up, Cardano had a 5x performance versus Bitcoin over the last year. And that's very, very hard to do. A year ago, Bitcoin was like, 10,000, right? So think about the journey from 10,000 to 44,000. So that is a tremendous gain. But Cardano had 5 times the amount of gain than Bitcoin. So that's a big thing. Now, where do I see Bitcoin by the end of the year? There's a lot of predictions out there, right? I've shown you guys charts before. A lot of famous people have come out and said Bitcoin could be 300, 400, 500, $600,000, right? But I'm just going to do even numbers, do 10x. I'm just going to say Bitcoin is going to go up 10x to about $440,000 by the end of 2021. That's a pretty good number, 444,000. That's still less than gold's market cap, just so you know. But okay, let's just say it goes up 10x. But because Cardano's going up 5 times as fast, theoretically, you can argue that it would go up 50x. But I don't think it can sustain that, so I'm just going to say 25x. I'm just going to split it down the middle. If Bitcoin could go up to 10x, I could see how Cardano can go up 25x. That would move about 2.5 times faster. For something that is at 30 billion market cap, I think that's definitely doable. So, easy math, easy math. You take 25x, right? 25x times the 30 billion, what does that come out to be? Well, that comes out to be about $750 billion. And if you look at it, $750 billion, that's still less than the market cap of Bitcoin today. And if you look at, what's coming down the road by end of 2021, Ethereum will probably be over $1 trillion. So can it be at, like, say, number 3 at the end of the year, sitting at $25 with a $750 billion market cap? I think that's really realistic. I think that's actually really realistic. The way Bitcoin is moving, the way the market is moving, I could definitely see that happen over the course of 2021. So that's how I came to $25. And I'm just rounding up here. I'm assuming that Cardano's already around $1. It was very close. It was like 92 or 93 cents. It slid down a little bit. So I'm rounding up. So I think 25x from here is definitely doable. So a lot of people, wondering, is this the time to get in? Should I get in? Well, you know what? I think Cardano has a lot of room to grow. Now, with that said, should you just go all in right now, dump everything and go into Cardano? No, that's not what we should do. But if you've been thinking about adding Cardano to your portfolio or holding it longer, or maybe just dollar cost averaging, I would say, yeah, do it. Do it over the long haul. Do it like how you do it with Bitcoin. You spread out your buys, dollar cost average, and hold them. Because had you done that for just the past year, you would have gained 1,400%. That's a lot, right? That's 14x basically what you made. So I think going forward is the same strategy. There's going to be a lot of dips, up and downs, right? There's going to be a lot of dips. But overall, the general trend is up and up and up. And I used to show this chart. I used to show, when I was streaming, when things were really weak, people kept asking me, why is Cardano not moving? Why is it so low? Why is it so weak? I drew this line probably a year ago. I'm like, Cardano, ever since it fell down, it had a problem breaking 10 cents, right? And I said, after 10 cents, that's when you got to notice, you got to hold it, because it's going to go much higher. That was the ultimate resistance for Cardano for such a long time. And even this point, right, later in 2020, it broke it, but it fell down a little bit. But now you could see it has gained crazy momentum from 10 cents all the way to 90 cents. Just that alone is 9x within a very short amount of time. We're talking about the end of November to now. That's 3 months. 3 months to go up almost 10x, right? That's pretty crazy. That shows you how strong it is. Now, if you're looking, for those of you guys that are technical people, and you're looking at like specific buy points, if you look at Cardano right now, it is actually very overbought. So that does, the indicators, your RSI is beyond high, stochastic RSI is beyond high, MACD is still going up, right? So if you're a technical person, you would say, well, this is a bad time to be buying Cardano. But it's been a bad time ever since it's been basically 40 cents, 50 cents, 60 cents, 70 cents, 80 cents, 90 cents. And it just keeps going up because here's the thing. When people buy and they keep buying and keep buying, it trumps all the indicators. It really does. The indicators could say overbought all day long. But if people continue to buy, especially with derivatives and stuff, it will keep going up. However, I do think there will probably be some kind of stalling period because right now you see it just going up to the moon, right? So there will probably be a time where it kind of does something like this. It doesn't have to fall, but it just needs to cool down. Now that could come at $1, it could come above, or it may have started already. But I do think you go see something like this where Cardano just takes a breather, just goes sideways, and just hovers there, kind of like Bitcoin before it starts its next leg up. I think right now could be that period, but it could be. I tend to see these things at round numbers, so I think